hard. To actually write a story and go through it, it's just kind of hard. Oh, that one ain't here. Um, Thinking at night again because that's still the best time to think of stuff in the middle of the night. You know, I recently watched the final chapter of Bendy and Inksy, and you notice if you go back through all the videos, you notice generally getting clear of what's going on. And the whole thing might even just be a loop, like a cartoon. It loops eventually. But I think that's the same with Alien Taste. As I've gone through the episodes, and even looking back at season one, I think the story I wanted to tell has become clearer and clearer every time I worked on it. It makes me sad since, well, I'm probably, since I'm gonna have to work on Till Out, which has a completely different story and a completely different tone than Porter Hoppers has. In my own personal opinion, that Porter Hoppers is just like, what if there was the original ending? That's Porter Hoppers to me. Porter Hoppers is the original intended ending, and A Tale Out is like, what if this happened? What if that happened? You know? It changes a lot of things that it does in a normal show. And since I'm moving, apparently, I'm waiting to someone get this house because it is up for sale. This is a for sale sign right outside this one, like there. You can't see it in the night sky, but it's there somewhere. But it's kind of there. It's hard to see. But there is a for sale sign. So I'm kind of getting worried that I won't even be in this house when it finally is finished. So that's sort of a worry. You know, the final four episodes only in this house. It's probably gonna be short since then do the final four episodes as sort of crossover. Might not work out, but hey, that's what the plan is. And plans are always means to fail. As does the original story. Uh, I think the original intended story I had in mind with Zach was just that, you know, it was intended that Zach was just, a kid villain. A villain that was thought of as me as a kid. I wasn't good at creating villains as a kid. So I decided, he won't have that much of a story present. He will just be like being every once in a while to show up and be like, yeah, I'm evil. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. That sort of thing. But as I went on, and Sean kind of ruined the main story I had. And I had no backup plan. I decided another story would have to take place. Something that would make sense in Sean's universe as well as mine in order to create the greatest villain. And it's hard to do that sometimes. I knew that Zack had to be a villain that would control all dimensions. That was in my head even when he was called Red. That was always in my head. Zack was a villain that got dimensions and controlled them. I'm feeling like everything going wrong here. Yeah. He's starting to bring Zark and Elliot and Sean, well, all three of them, for all this, but most importantly Zark. As I see him hating him the most. You know, he kind of defeated Toad and Go Black. Toad, who actually made Magenta who he is. So, yeah, that's actually a pretty good tie-in. And don't you think into the main story that Magenta was actually made with the help of Toad. Yeah, Zack and Toad work together on the Toad gave the name, of course, because Clayton has to always give credit. Magenta does actually have a real name because I actually found out that Magenta's kind of a girl's name. Well, not kind of a girl's name, it is a girl's name. But Chico, no. I blame Sean. I blame shit on Sean everywhere. I blame TLL on Sean. I blame this name was Sean. I really need to quit on Magenta and Sean, but I think it actually works out for the better, so I'm not going to blame him for that. But I'm going to blame him for those two things. The actual name. It works, but it doesn't. And now we're stuck with it. Yay? Sorry, I found that funny. But I think that's something that Kid Me would have done. Just found something that sounded cool. And with Zack's original name being Red, I think it kind of fits that his son's name would be Magenta. So, yeah. Another color. Even though it's a girl's name. Okay, I'm joking about that. But I think the final 4 episodes should be Zack at his lowest point. Where it's just really mad at this point. He doesn't even know what his plan is. All his other plans has failed. He fails getting Magenta back. He failed to do whatever he was going to do with Toku. But I think what he was planning to do was try to defeat Elliot. As you see in that episode, Toku Black just kind of steals the show. The Teddies don't even get to do anything. They're so weak that Toku Black just backhand them back to the ground. They literally can't do anything. Ingo Big is supposed to be the strongest guy around. He gets backed off. That never happened to him before. I think the original plan with Zod was to get Toku back, get the Jaguars, get Magenta back. However, I am going to work it into this main plot. The Dragon Balls only work in the dimension that they're in. Yeah, that. And the Super Dragon Balls are much limited to the same way. They only work in the universe set that they're in. They are demon powerful. If they're not in the right universe set, you basically can't really do anything of the sort with them. Hence why Zack has to summon the dragon right there and then in Sean's universe. Because he could only do that in that universe. Well, dimension, whatever. So, bit of lore for you guys. Because I always wondered if each universe had its own set of Dragon Balls. Or that would be the case. Hence why Champa has to look for the Super Dragon Balls. Other than just knowing that I'm just being cool. Okay, I'm funny. So I think that happens, but the main thing I've been watching over and over when I first watched that is that at the end where Zack and Zack kind of is like, who are you? You know, with Zack. And he introduces himself as Uncle Zaki, which I thought was weird. But I kind of drew that in because I like drilling weird things in and making this sort of story out of it. I won't tell you what that is since it's a main part of Zack's character. So, what you gonna do about me? I'm weird like that. I admit it. So stories are just. And it's only very recently that I realized something like this. And you also realize in season 2 that Zack's presence is more or less not even there. Of course he's mentioned, but he hasn't really been there a lot. He hasn't really been the main threat of all the episodes. I think in this stage Zack has just given up entirely and gone into a recluse state, just planning. But all his plans just seem to end in dead ends or something. So at the start of the free part, he's just mad and kind of insane. He's mad at everyone that I mentioned, but also kind of insane. All his plans go wrong, and he blames everyone for them. Not himself, but everyone else. He laughs at everyone. And I think this is a change that's most Simpson now. Since Zack is more cunning, smart in the first couple episodes. He knows the Dragon Ball is fake when he lands on it. And knows that Zack is only trusting a bone just because. He knows that. But he still thinks of the Dragon Balls. So he plans of a way to get them with the mask. Because it can bend reality. But he tosses away because it's not any use at morning. Just as long as it's night, that it only works. I forgot about that. But ayo, It kind of works. As a sort of work on, but hell, I get smart, cool ideas, but then they just don't pan out. That seems to be the running gag of Port Office. That cool things show up and they just don't really pan out for me. But this time I am really got anything that Sean can pull at me. I even had a story from Magenta. Magenta of all people, and it's sort of told in the gang, the second special I ever made. Well, no, the second special I ever made was the Tale of L Two Potters. Seriously, even the specials, that thing is 4 parts long. And I still found out how to make Sean squirm. He loves it so much that I have to make a third and fourth part on its birthday. Just because Sean loved it both so much. And I admit, yeah, I like Ember as a character. But asking me to do another series for her? Bit much, right? Well, I can do it. I admit that Alien Tales is kind of short. And I've been working on a TOL. Working on it on off. Because I'd rather focus on the now things. Because that's kind of how my mind works. That it rather likes to concentrate on things that are now rather than ahead of time. I think I'm gonna work on it more in 2019. But the first 2 episodes are out, you can watch at any time. I might post some more if I feel like it. If I feel like returning to the series. I'm also thinking of animating short fight scenes. Because I always hated how my fight scenes looked. I don't know why, but it's just, I didn't like them. But this time I wanted to feel the action. So far, I done the animation segment for episode 3, which is just a cool fight scene. Can't wait to show you that when it comes together. But I have to draw the rest of the episode. Because I've been concentrating on my Halloween special recently. Because I was originally planning for a Halloween special that involved story stuff. And then that didn't pan out. Because I needed the rest of the episodes. I am holding up on that Halloween special until next year. I am not going to do a Christmas special this year. Because, seriously, I don't really like Christmas all that much. I like Halloween much better. It's like one of my favorite things. It's like horror games. They're cool. They're scary. And there's no story. They involve law. That I don't understand what the hell is going on in Bendy and the Inquisition. Seriously, stupid cartoon. That's the best I can come up with. God damn it. That was a shining out.